Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm on the back porch, um, fighting off a stress headache, and I'm really pissed off because I actually felt good yesterday because a judge put an injunction on Texas's abortion ban, and I thought, oh my gosh, did we actually do something? I was at a reproductive rights rally last Saturday. Did we actually do something? Did something work? This one judge, I'm going to write him a thank you note. My God. No, my godless life. Because, according to the New York Times, that injunction was overturned with a quickness that was actually kind of terrifying. And I was talking to to some friends last night, folks I play D&D with in real life, and not no dissing wondering here. Your game's awesome, but my old pre-pandemic D&D group, where we used to actually get together in person, play around a table and stuff. That was fun in the before times. And we're just, what are we doing? I mean, honestly, just as a nation, what are we doing? The rally as I was at, there was a huge mix of ages and uh, ethnicities, and it was incredible. It was incredible to see people from every part of my city, every socioeconomic branch in my city. There were queer people, there were straight people, there were older women who were old enough, who clearly lived before Roe v. Wade, and they were. One lady had a coat hanger on the back of her raincoat and a sign that said, "We won't go back," but we are. It's starting with Texas, and we are going back, and it's terrifying. In my state, in Tennessee, we have the highest rate of of people with wombs dying in childbirth in the entire United States. The most powerful country in the world, the one with the scariest military, because that's what we fund, and we can't get basic prenatal care for pregnant people. And that's when people die giving birth. We have the means to prevent so many deaths, and we don't. These people are not pro-life, they're pro-birth. We have the means to provide for children. We have social programs like WIC, and we have supplements for groceries, but it's a red state, and those benefits are very difficult to get, and they treat you like shit if you apply for them. And every time you have to go back every month and reapply, they treat you like shit. Because somehow being poor is a crime or a character flaw. This makes no sense. And I know this isn't the happiest of videos, and I'm sorry, but I miss my country. Oh, another fun statistic for you. Not only does Tennessee have the highest rate of people dying in childbirth. No, nobody's here yet, Robert X, but you are. Hey, how are you? Good to talk. Yes, we are alone. I was gonna waggle my eyebrows at you, but apparently my face isn't awake yet. Mm. Happy Halloween. Okay. So yeah, so not only does Tennessee have the highest rate of people dying in childbirth in the United States, my city has the highest rate of people dying in childbirth in Tennessee. And that's directly related to um, socioeconomic status and 200 years of institutionalized racism, because this impacts people of color more than anyone else here. So, yeah, that's where I am, Robert. What are you doing today? Come on, man, cheer me up. Person, lovely person. Um, oh, we're having friends over for dinner later. That'll be nice. Yeah. I was going to read part of this New York Times article, but honestly, every time I do, I just start seeing this red haze like goes in front of my eyes, and I kind of feel like I'm having a little bit of a stroke. So I'm not. I just you can look it up. It's on the internet. But yeah, SB8 was overturned for like a hot minute, and then no. Hello, asexual atheist. How are you today? Since it's Saturday, I'm just doing some cleaning and the usual Saturday stuff. Yeah, me too. I'm cleaning. Uh, Realizing that I should clean more regularly because it's a lot. But yeah, work a lot. Don't get around to housework all the time, and we're having people over. So the house. I have a little bit of pride left. Like the house has to be somewhat clean. I'm glad you're doing okay, sexual atheist. That's good. Boy, yeah. So we're hanging out on the back porch this morning, having a chat. I'm gonna have a cigarette because I'm not in the house. Yeah. Ah, mosquito. You're supposed to be nocturnal. The hell. All right. Brain bug can let me know if I'm wrong about that. Oh my gosh, I'm on my phone. Can I pull up a comment on my phone? I don't even know. Nope. Oh, wait, yes I can. Yes I can. There we go. There it is. I just take off my glasses and everything looks a lot cleaner, says Robert X. Yes, that would work for me too. That's fantastic, sir. My word. All right. I'm going to tell you all a happy story because that last minute was depressing. So I'm going to tell you a happy story. Sorry, this is like some shaky Blair Witch shit. Okay. So I met an unlikely ally. I also just got out of the shower. My hair's wet. This is great. This is a great time for streaming. Um, Also, don't smoke. It's bad. Do you hear my voice right now? Uh, so I was talking to a gentleman at work, and he was telling me about one of his daughters doing something, and another one of his daughters doing something, and one of his daughters has just had a baby shower because he's expecting their second grandchild, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, that's so cool. And he showed me a picture, and they're beautiful, beautiful women, and they were all just like laughing, and they were like clearly trying to smile for the picture, but also something had just cracked them up. So it was great. It was a great picture. And I said, how many daughters do you have? And he said, three. I have three daughters and one son. Uh, one of my daughters is a trans woman. And he just said it like that, just matter of factly, no big deal. And y'all know where I live. We face a lot. I mean, trans people face a lot of hate and a lot of discrimination everywhere. but where I live, it's at least in the southern United States, it's particularly bad. And so just to hear this man say that, and I was like, I'm that's dude. And I was trying to figure out how to phrase it, and I just finally I said, this is really lame. It's lame of me. Hey, critical cripple, love you, hugs. Um, so this man just matter of factly tells me one of his daughters is a trans woman, like it's no big thing. And and I said, you know, I feel like I shouldn't say, hey, kudos for loving your kid, but that's it's just awesome that you feel that way. I that it's not doesn't seem to be a big deal for you. And he said, well, about a year before she came out to us, a colleague of mine, a guy who worked under me actually, came to me and said, hey, I just want you to know, my oh, so I left that up for a while, didn't I? That's okay. Came to me and said, hey, just so you know, my son is just told me she's trans, and so if you hear me referring to my daughter, that's who I'm talking about, just so it's not confusing for you. And he said he thought about that, and like I said, this is a year before his daughter came out, and he said, yeah, I thought about that for a long time because I realized I'd never thought about it before. I'd never considered the possibility, and I thought, well, I have 4 kids. What if one of them is trans? How would I deal with that? What would I say? What would I do? And he said, I really didn't know how I'd react. But apparently, in the moment, he reacted very well. So that is cool. And it's like I said, it's a weird thing to be like, hey, good on you for not being a bigot, but it's it can be a tricky thing. And then we talked about pronouns. We talked about fucking up pronouns and how we feel terrible when we do it. And he said, I'm really good at it. I'm really good about her pronouns. And unless I'm talking about something that happened in the past, like when she was a child, then I have a hard time and I mess up. Like I think and he said she's very patient with me. So that was good. That was a really sweet conversation. Hey Junie, what's going on? Yeah, I came on with no warning, so I didn't those of you rolling in, I came in to bitch about the fact that SB8 got overturned for like a hot minute and then was very quickly upheld by a higher court yesterday. You can read about it on the New York Times webpage. It's a super bummer. Okay, fair enough. All right, nice one, Robert. um, wow, what else? Yeah, it's nice to see. I know, Junie. It's been a while. I'm happy to see you guys too. It's I'm working too much. I have giant bags under my eyes. Yeah, this is gonna be on the internet forever. Me with wet hair and huge bags under my eyes. It's amazing. Um, yeah, I've been working a lot, and it's good because it's good money and good benefits, and I like the money and I like the benefits a lot, and I even like the work. There's just a lot of it, and it's stressful. Very glad that I have a job, Asexual Ladies. Yes, I'm very glad I have a job. That was last year was rough, as many of you know. Last year was terrifying. Last year we came literally within 1 month of bills from if we hadn't gotten jobs exactly when we did, Junk Shop and I, we would have ended up moving into my teenage bedroom at my parents' house. And I love my parents, but no, no. And their house is small, and just no. It's just no way. I did that once when I was going through my divorce. I had to move in with them for a bit, and it was wonderful. It was absolutely wonderful to have a kind of family, especially having hardcore, very seriously Catholic parents who were like, "Oh, thank God you got divorced. Yes, of course, you got rid of that man. Come on, move in. It's fine." Because they could have very easily felt very different about that. And I'm glad that they didn't. They just love their kids, no matter what, because that's what being a parent is. Um, and yeah, and so they not only supported me, they supported my decision, and that was cool. That was very cool. Um, but it wasn't easy. Uh, my mom and I have had some great fights in our day. This is one that I am not proud of. The first week I was back there, I somehow reverted to my teenage self and just found myself screaming at her in the kitchen over I don't even know what anymore. I think it had something to do with Bush, George W. Bush. I don't remember. That was a long time ago, but it was very frustrating. But yeah, then we got better. And it was great because it is nice to have a port in a storm, asexual atheist. You're actually absolutely right. And but no, it's not an ideal life to remain in the port. Unless it is port wine. Oh, good point. It's a dry port. A lot of port's too sweet for me. But anyway, we digress. That was very funny. Thank you. But yeah, it was cool though. It was cool because we got to know each other as adults in a way that even if you live in the same uh, general area as your parents, that can be hard to do if you don't see them every week. And I don't see mine every week. Um, and yeah, so it was a good. I'm glad that we had that time. We got really close as grown-ups, and they finally, they I realized that they see me as a grown-up, as my dad put it. You're a grown woman, do what you want, which was nice. All right. Yeah, I honestly don't know if that was my hang up or theirs. I really don't. I thought it was theirs, but then when he said that, I was like, this might be my stuff. Okay. So let's see. What do we got going on today? Cleaning. Yeah. If you notice my hand shaking, that is a side effect. A side effect? That's a side effect of me not having my proper dose of mood stabilizers right now. So that's been fun. Um, I had a telephone appointment with my doctor. I forgot to ask him if he, knew about the prescription change that I had to get the last time this happened because of the da, 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 da. Go back, watch that video. It's a long, boring story about American insurance companies and how they're bullshit. But basically, I had to change from 1 milligram grammage of my mood stabilizer to a bigger to 1 to 2 different milligramages because a company came out with a higher milligram pill, and so my insurance company wouldn't cover just the smaller ones where I would take 2 and then 3, and now I take 1 and 1. Anyway, I forgot to make sure that he got the memo on that since the last time because I'd gotten it fixed through his office the last time this happened. So I just sort of assumed that he knew. Apparently not. And he also there was another prescription that he didn't call in, and I don't know why. But it's a small dose of an antidepressant, which is nice, but also it has a lovely side effect of preventing chronic migraines. It doesn't prevent them 100% of the time, but I get them a lot less. And since I haven't had that, I've had several, and so that hasn't made the work easier or the streaming easier. So yeah, it's fun. Let's see. What is asexual Alethea saying? American society does not vocalize expectations of parents and adult children to move beyond the teenager. You know what? That is an excellent point, asexual atheist. That is an excellent point. I mean, we see it. Oh, thank you. It'll be okay. Hopefully by Monday it'll all be sorted out. I thought it was going to be sorted out by Thursday, but hopefully we'll have it sorted by Monday. Yeah, you're right. We don't talk about it, about relationships between, adults, their children, and themselves as adults, um, except for like usually in terms of traditions, like weddings and funerals and elder care. That's when we talk about it. But gosh, can't we talk about it when it's less intense life events? Do see it portrayed sometimes very well in some films and some television, not so well in others. But yeah. Dead air. That's what you want. That's awesome. Okay, sorry for all the throat clearing. This is why I normally don't stream this early, you guys. I'm a mess between the leaf mold and the all the other stuff, and I'm just full of complaints, which is it's becoming my brand, and I don't like that. I don't want that to be my brand. I want to be the semi-goth chick that brings stuff down. I don't want to. Oh, yeah, this shirt's fantastic, right? Yeah, it's you probably can't read it, but it says blues, barbecue, and bodily autonomy. So it's a Memphis shout out for bodily autonomy, y'all, right there. I have a morning voice and I do not smoke, so asexual atheist. Thank you. I feel better. Yeah. I think you're right. I think everyone does to a certain extent. Yeah, nice. Thank you, Jeannie. Yeah, it's a fun shirt. And actually you can get one at choicesofmemphis.com. I think that's their it's Choices of Memphis if you just type that in. Oh, and I heard so many great speeches at this rally. One lady from Choices got up and talked about how important Black midwives are there because they cut the need for C-sections down by like 40%. And she had other statistics, but that's the one that stuck in my head. But yeah, it's amazing. They have a midwifery there, and it really helps because they service just like Planned Parenthood. They're there for everybody, but particularly for low income people. Asexual Atheist says, I like Mac Dillahunty's hat. It's MAGA red and says made you look, Black Lives Matter. Yeah. I've seen that hat. It's fantastic. Yeah, I agree. I don't know how Matt does it. Do y'all? I mean, I could not take cold calls and deal with all of that stuff. I admire him for doing it. I think there's definitely a place for it, but no, I couldn't do it. I do this. I can talk at a camera and nice folks like you show up and we have a good time. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much, Junie. Yes, and for all the other things. Let's not forget that the woman who started Planned Parenthood started it because wanted women to have access to safe and legal abortions, which were not even remotely legal at the time. But she was also living in America where, in most states, birth control was still illegal. Yeah, so preach. And she was trying to make things better and safer and give women options. Ultimately, with the goal of eliminating the need for abortion, but I don't think we'll ever be able to do that because of things like, rape. And I know I keep saying women, and it's not just women, it's anyone who has a womb. So, to be very clear, and if you want to see anything about that, they're on Planned Parenthood's Facebook page. They took video at all of the coordinated rallies around the country last weekend, and there's a fantastic speech by a man who gets up and he started his speech with "I am a trans man," which means I have a uterus, and he was just very elegantly and eloquently making the point that this doesn't just affect women; it affects everybody. Yeah, yeah, Junie, absolutely. And I've I mean, the entire time I was in college and the entire time I was a teacher, that's where I got that's where I had OBGYN appointments and like that, and that's where I had hello, Microraptor. Hey girl, what you doing? And that's where I got my birth control because it was so cheap. You could get a year of birth control for very little money, and it was fantastic. But then I aged out of hormonal birth control. But whatever, it happens. All right. Oh, not much today. You having an easy Saturday, chill Saturday. That's always good. I'm very self conscious right now, you guys. I'm still working on the getting rid of the weight I put on during quarantine last year. Yeah, my forehead looks huge because I'm holding this at a very specific angle. No, it does, but still. Uh, the yeah, still not feeling great about that, but I've lost 17 pounds, so we're getting there. We're getting there. Someday it will happen. And I have a headache, so I'm probably going to cut this short soon and go find some Advil. Yeah. Oh, thank you, asexual atheist. Yeah, you're right. That is something to be proud of. 17 pounds is nothing to sneeze at. And I don't know how many kilos or what would it be? Kilograms? No. Would it be kilograms? God damn it. That's another thing. We had a whole revolution and we're still stuck with the empirical measurement system. Why? Why? And and Dave, answer this for me. Answer this for me, critical. Why are y'all going back to it? Have you heard about this? Is this a thing? Is this true? I heard about 8 kilos, I think. Okay, there we go. Thank you. Yeah, why is the UK abandoning the metric system and going back to something that essentially makes no sense? I mean, we've regulated it. A foot is no longer the size of the king's foot, but it's still ridiculous. Like the metric system is so much better. We started learning it when I was in elementary school because uh, we thought we were going to go back to that, and then yeah, it's 7.7 kilograms, and I'm from Sweden, so it's Microraptor. Yeah, Oh, I know you're from Sweden. I know you are, Micro Raptor. I'm sorry. I was talking to Critical Cripple when I mentioned that about the UK. He may have dozed off on us. I don't know. I usually use metric. I'm tired of waiting for the US to adopt it. Yeah. Well, and it's funny too because it's not hard to wrap your head around. Like I was you were not to blame for me being Sweden. You're right. And I always say you're from I always act like you're German. I'm sorry, Robert. Damn it. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, it's not hard to adapt to. We were in Scotland for 4 days and we figured out Celsius really fast because it was cold. Never got above 4 degrees Celsius the whole time we were there. But it was awesome. Okay. Well, that's probably enough for me this morning. I don't know if you guys can hear birds are saying my tree, all over the place. And it's quite a lovely morning. That's part of my backyard. I have a backyard now. Of course, that means we have to buy a lawnmower. Oh, and people are connecting. Yeah, it tends to happen with grandparents. People are bonding over shared heritage in the chat. This is cool. I'll keep vamping for a minute because I don't want you all to not be able to do that. I'm just gonna. My gosh. Okay. All right. Can't go wrong with a push mower, less moving parts. Yes, but here's the thing. I'm not the one who's going to be doing it because of various, again, allergy stuff. Although Junk Shop has terrible allergies too, so I really don't know how fair this is. But they just said, "Don't worry about it. I'll mow the lawn. I've always mowed the lawn. It's fine." I was like, "Okay," because we were raised with very gender normative chores. And I was like, okay, I mean, I know how. I can. And they were like, no, I got it, sweetie. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, you're awesome. I love you. Um, but when we were talking about what kind of lawnmower we're going to buy, I suggested a push mower. I was like, then we don't have to get, gasoline for it, less pollution. And they just looked at me and they were like, no, no, in their defense, it's a really big yard. It's really big. It goes all the way back and it's huge. And even though we're renting, we are responsible for the lawn care. It's in our lease. So yeah. 30 is high. Nine. You know what? I'm just going to pull this up because there we go. 30. Okay. So we're talking about degrees Celsius. 30 is hot. 20 is nice. 10 is cold. 0 is ice. That's a good way to put it. Swedish winter is, oh my God. Microraptor says a real Swedish winter should be at least -20. You sound like you enjoy that. I would actually. I like it colder. I really do. Junk Shop does not. Junk Shop had a rough time in Scotland. Like they loved seeing Edinburgh, and they loved everything that we did there, and they loved the museums, and they loved um, they loved seeing Tim Minchin in concert and all of that stuff. And they loved the food and the pubs. Those were great. And we found a coffee shop that we loved. We just fell in love with, and we just kept going back to it every morning. But yeah, they did not love the cold. It was too cold. So after we got home, I was like, always kind of had this fantasy about retiring to like a small village in Scotland if I ever had, retiring money. And Junk Shop was like, I love you, but no, I can't. Can't handle the Scottish winters. This is one of the reasons I wanted to go ahead and come on this morning, is because I hoped some of you European folks would show up, and you did. That's really cool. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm in a weird place with the abortion bans, and especially what's going on in Texas, and the Supreme Court just sort of going, nah, we're not going to rule on that right now. When it is clearly, I mean, I'm not even a constitutional lawyer, but it's clearly unconstitutional. 5 members of the Supreme Court are Catholics, so maybe that has something to do with it. Just saying. Oh, you have a friend studying in Sweden, asexual atheist. That's cool. I'm not going to say what city you're from on the thing, Microraptor, but I've seen pictures, I've seen video. Beautiful city. I would love to see it in person someday. That would be cool. I have heard that. I've heard that Sweden is a nice country. Actually, when I was in college, I was working at the bursar's office for Extra Money, and one of my coworkers was from Sweden, and she was lovely. Absolutely lovely person. That doesn't mean that I assume that all Swedish people are lovely, but she was awesome. I want Sweden to be cold. Damn it, stop trashing my dreams. This Robert X. Is it not? I mean, are you guys having a weird hot autumn there or something? What's going on? Yeah. Yes, it was. And again, not a lawyer, so I'm not comfortable commenting extensively, but yeah, it was manipulative as fuck, for sure. I don't understand. I mean, I do and I don't. It's not like I'm unaware of where I live. There are things that you think, yeah, this has become a politicized wedge issue, even though it's a medical issue and should never have been politicized, like vaccines to begin with. But, they'll never get rid of Roe v. Wade. That's insane. We're the only developed nation that still has the death penalty. Sure, we're not going to be the only one that doesn't allow bodily autonomy, right? Right? Oh, not so much? Okay. Yeah, I didn't think that would happen. I didn't think a loud minority of fundamentalists would have this much power, would be this strong of a voting bloc. And I wrote my senator and my congresswoman about it, and state and federal senators, and Marsha fucking Blackburn. I swear, that woman. I don't get her, and her replies are so snide. Anyway, if you wanna hear about that and my failed attempt to reply to her response, yeah, I did a video on that too. Here we go. Oh, sorry. I think it is politicized in order to control women's bodies. Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think they want they make it out like it's a religious thing. It's not, and then it shouldn't be. There are denominations of Christianity, a lot of them actually, that the doctrine is that life begins at conception, but that's bullshit. Biologically, that's bullshit. And actually, if they would read their fucking book in the Bible, it says life begins when a baby takes its first breath. So there you go. And I'm not junk shop. Don't ask me to cite chapter and verse, please. I know it's in the Old Testament. That's all I can tell you. Okay, so asexual atheist is explaining the shadow docket way better than I could. So she said the court wrote a. I'm sorry, I just realized asexual atheist. I don't necessarily know your pronouns. I don't know why I said she. Sorry about that if that's wrong. The court wrote a very brief comment on the abortion law and did not review it in court. The brief commentary is the shadow docket. Yeah. Yeah, essentially they didn't do their job. They just sort of glossed over it, wrote a brief opinion, but they wouldn't actually make a decision. They, them, okay, they, hey, asexual atheists. Always good to have an MB in the crowd. I know, I'm married to one. Yeah, I'm a little biased on behalf of MBs. Love y'all. Yeah, so this is essentially a nightmare, and it's definitely a nightmare for trans men. But it's also a nightmare for rape victims because there are no exceptions for rape or incest either. Okay. Oh, Microraptor. That's nice. That's a nice argument from Pathos right there. If God created your body, wouldn't He want you to only use it in ways that make you happy? So not have children you don't want. Exactly. And statistic after statistic and time after time after time, what we see is that children who are wanted are better taken care of. They're less likely to be abused. They're it's just better. Unwanted children have a hard time. I mean, it's not full on Dickensian, but it's pretty fucking bad. And that's another thing. You know, I actually know one couple, one that's Republican, and I don't know that they're hardcore like pro life down the line. I don't know that. We never talked about it, but they do have 5 kids of their own, and they have over the years taken in foster children, often 2 at a time. So if those folks are pro life, at least they're practicing what they preach, because most of these people don't. Yeah. The asexual. I like it. I like the definite pronoun in front of that. That's kind of cool. Or the definite article, excuse me. We were talking about pronouns. I used to be an English teacher. And a sexual atheist says if there are severe birth defects detected before birth, an abortion may be necessary. Yeah, you're right. Damn, you autocorrect. I know. I hate autocorrect. It's the worst. It's the worst. I'm like, I didn't mean duck. God damn it. I'm an adult. I use all the words. In case you hadn't noticed, the stream is not for children. Yeah. It can be necessary. There was a case set many years ago now, when abortion was still illegal in Ireland, and where a woman, a doctor, was kind of far along in her far enough along that I think it was more than 24 weeks. So this was, you know, a baby she and her spouse had planned on having, right? Wanted to keep, I guess. Well, like I said, abortion was illegal there, but she started to miscarry, and that is so unfortunate and so sad just in and of itself. But the story gets worse. That's what I do. Since abortion was illegal at the time in Ireland, and all of the hospitals were Catholic hospitals, they wouldn't do anything. I mean, they did. I mean, she was in the hospital. They gave her antibiotics. They gave her, I think, blood transfusions, but she needed an abortion because she was losing that the fetus was dead. There was no coming back for that fetus, but they could have saved her. But because they would not perform a surgical abortion, she died. A doctor. Like, I mean, not trying to say that one human life is more important than another, but useful person. We don't have enough doctors. At least, certainly not in the US, we don't. We don't have enough general medical education. She wasn't a horrible doctor. The people who wouldn't give her the procedure she needed to save her life were horrible. But they also legally couldn't do it. They could have been prosecuted. I don't know. What would you have done? I like to think I would have done it anyway. I'm really scared of jail. I don't do anything illegal. I'm terrified of jail. I think my glasses will get broken on the first day and I'd be fucked. All right. Aw, that's a good point. Thank you. Thank you, asexual atheist. I like the Jewish approach. When that happens, the fetus is seen as a threat to the parent's life. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know what I would have done either, Micro Raptor. I hope I would have done the brave and courageous and unlawful thing, but I don't know for sure. I can't tell you. I've never been in that situation. And that's a funny thing, isn't it? We think we know how we're going to react to things sometimes, things we've thought about, things we've considered. But you never really know until you're in the moment. And then you find out who you are. Oh, yeah, that's a fair point too. It wouldn't have just been one person. Robert X makes a very good point. Our Swedish friend, Robert X, makes a very good point. Is that you need multiple people in the operating room. If one doesn't want to help or tells others, that could, the rest could be screwed too. Yeah, absolutely. So, but that's no longer a problem for Ireland because they joined the rest of the 21st century. Finally, it took them a long time, but they did and legalized it. The incredibly Catholic Emerald Isle legalized abortion, and we're just sliding back, desperate to get back to 1972. Don't know why. You're Dutch. God damn it. Robert X is Dutch, lives in Germany. I'm so sorry. I never get your nationality right, and I am so sorry. Never. And you've told me you're Dutch. You've told me you're Dutch so many times. I'm remembering so many times now. Yeah, I'll work on it. I promise. That's pretty much all I can say. I will try. I will try not to fuck up the fact that you're Dutch anymore. Okay. Well, having done that, no, I don't want to mute Robert X. There we go. Sorry, not used to streaming on my phone. Okay. No, I never want to. I don't want to silence anyone, but well, no, I don't want to silence Robert X. That's for sure, or Microraptor or anybody else. Sorry for mixing up the Swedes and the Deutsch and the Dutch and everything. Everyone. All right. Well, on that note, I need more coffee. That's inside. So I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna a shaky cam take you guys into the kitchen. Oh no, I know it's not an insult, Robert X. No, for sure. Yeah, I trust me. These days, I wouldn't mind being Swedish either. Like that would be cool. Good, good. I'm glad. All right. Okay. Well, to Robert X, the lovely Dutch person who lives in Germany, to Microraptor, the beautiful Swedish person, um, to Junie the apostate, to Critical Cripple, to the asexual atheist, they, them. And did I skip anybody? I don't think so. To all of you, thank you so much for joining me in this impromptu stream this morning. Oh my gosh, we went almost an hour. Are you kidding me? That flew by. All right, hugs to everybody. Have a great Saturday, whatever you're doing. If you're having a chill Saturday, if you're just cleaning, puttering around the house, if you're walking the dog, if you have a date tonight, whatever you're doing, enjoy it, have fun, be safe, and love from Memphis, y'all.